Hello and welcome to Flash Reviews vlog. Today we have a little bit of a different video. We all know that the Darksaber from the Legacy collection was launched recently, and there were a lot of mixed emotions about the aesthetics and the overall first impressions about the Darksaber. One of the ones that personally got me was the appearance of the blade. It seemed, in my opinion, very bland, and for judging by the images from the next Darksaber coming out from Force FX, it doesn't seem like the blade is going to be that much different. So I decided to try and go ahead and customize the blade for the first time. And this is this video for, just to show you a quick journey on how we went from this to this.
Alright, before we dive into it, as always, if you like anything or learn anything throughout this video, make sure that you like the video and subscribe to our channel, as it helps us continue doing great videos like this for you guys to enjoy. Okay, so first things first, what I did was open Photoshop and create a document that was basically the size of the blade for the saber. I measured it and it ended up being 26 inches long in total and 1.6 inches wide on its widest section, or 66 centimeters long and 4 centimeters wide on its widest section. Then I went ahead and, using the line tool, I basically created lines that matched those measurements. Part of me, I did this tutorial in a little bit of a rush, and also it's my first time doing any sort of tutorial with computer applications. I'm not a Photoshop expert. I just can, learn. I learned to pass by and use the basics on it. So once I created the outline for it, I went ahead and filled it out with the color black. After filling it out with black, I went ahead and looked for a brush that had that lightning shape, and started basically designing the pattern on the outline with that lightning brush. Very much towards the corners, because the blade in the middle, it's still black. The plastic is black. The brushes that I downloaded have several options in terms of patterns. I downloaded from brusheasy.com. It's completely free to download Photoshop brushes from there. And I just basically went in and typed in lightning and chose the one that I like the most. I choose the one that I like the most. So you can see here you have several options just by typing lightning. So go ahead and you can find the one that you like the most. And I just started playing with them until I finished a pattern that I liked. You're going to see that in the middle it has very thin lightnings. That doesn't really matter, because at the end of the process they're not going to really show up. The important part is on the edges of the blade, that it's showing the pattern that you like. And after that, I went ahead. I already know that the base that I'm using for my Cricut cutter is 12 by 12. So I went ahead and sectioned that blade and fit it into that 12 by 12 pattern, and also went ahead and mirror it so I can use it for both sides when I'm in the Cricut. Okay, so now to the Cricut part. If you have someone that has Cricut, it will be great. If not, if you need assistance with it, or would like to buy this already done and I can ship it to you, feel free to direct message me, and we'll see what we can do. We go ahead and open the Cricut software and start a new project. We're going to go and upload the image that we saved from Photoshop that has already the blade sectioned. Okay, once it uploads the image, I use the simple cutout for the selection tool. That means that it doesn't reach too much into the image. It's just black and white. So it's not taking those gray areas. Remember that I said not to worry too much about those thin lines from the lightning. It's just basically taking whatever is white, which is mostly what is by the edge or the corners of the image. And it's what we want because at the end of the day, the middle of the blade, it's still black anyways. And I feel like it's also more true to the ones that we see on animation. There you can see that most of the lightning effects are on the corners. We're going to select the cut image because we're cutting into vinyl, not printing. You'll go ahead and name it whatever you want to name it for your records where you're keeping it, and you can click on upload. Once the image is cut and created, you can click insert image into your project. For some reason, it inserted it bigger than the size that we created it, but that's completely fine. Since it's only one image, I can resize in here, and it will all resize together. All the pieces will still match. So I'll go ahead and center it a little bit more here to the corner, okay? Because as you can see, the rulers will tell you the inches, and the mat that I have for the Cricut is a 12 by 12. So obviously we don't want it to go over the 12 by 12 measurements. And when you are resizing with the Cricut, it tells you on the side of the image the size. And I sectioned this to be the longer pieces are about 10 inches long. So 9 and change to 10 inches should be fine. It's about the size that I am looking for. Okay. So once you have resized the image and you are certain that it's going to fit in the mat that you have for the Cricut, you can click on Make It. And it's going to give you an overview on how it's going to look on the mat that you have. And this is the moment for us to go ahead and prepare the vinyl and the mat for the cutting process. Vinyl that I'm using is a black matte vinyl. It's about 12 feet this roll, and it was only $10 on Amazon. I wanted it matte because I only want light to reflect from the white sections. So you go ahead and you're going to cut your 12 by 12 piece of the vinyl, and place it on the mat. And then let's go ahead and place the mat into the Cricut cutter and press the load button or the feed button so it takes the mat for to start the cutting process. So once loaded, the Cricut software will tell you the progress of the project in percentage. And while the Cricut works on the cutting of the vinyl, I'm going to take some time now to explain to you what I meant with the blade being black in the middle. So the blade that comes with the Legacy lightsaber, I found out that the main piece or the larger piece of the black section, it's actually a black plastic. So it's not something that you can remove the paint to take advantage of the full white acrylic. There is a section towards the base that, yes, you can scratch off the paint, but the rest of it is actually a black plastic. So that's why you will focus more on the lighting effect towards the edges. Okay, now that the project is completely cut, let's go into what most people will say is the most tedious part of the process, the weeding, where you will have to remove the excess from the vinyl. Weeding is the process of removing the excess of vinyl from the cutout that you're actually going to use for the blade. Using the Cricut tools, make sure that you're very careful so you don't rip any excess or any parts from the actual cutout. Once you have all the weeding completed, it's time for the transfer. I actually bought this on Amazon very cheap as well. It's a big roll of transfer tape. Basically what this is going to do is going to help us move the vinyl from its paper and then stick it into the blade. Make sure that you do this very carefully and that you're aligning it properly. Once I completed one side of the blade, this is what it started to look like, which I actually liked a lot. It's just exposing the edges and that little bit of a lining effect, which is what I was looking for. And here you have the final result. I'm actually very pleased with it. I think it came out better than expected. Let's do a side-by-side comparison from the previous blade. Definitely the previous one has a lot more brightness because it has a lot more white exposed. But with the vinyl, I just feel like it feels so much more realistic and similar to the animated version of it. So definitely no regrets here. Let me know in the comments down below if you liked it. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with our new videos. And I'm going to post in here our full review for an unboxing of the Darksaber, which also contains the details of our first giveaway. And also in the description, I'm including as many links as I can from all the items used today. That will be all for today, and may the force be with you.